for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have variable cloudiness today with a high of 73 to 76, then mostly cloudy tonight, low this evening, 56 to 61. Mostly cloudy Tuesday, high tomorrow of 72 to 78. Then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all will have a mix of clouds and sunshine. High Wednesday, 69 to 74. Thursday, 67 to 72. Friday, 68 to 71. Chance for rain late Friday night. From the Florida Weather Center in Hollywood.
Hey, the best deals of this new year are waiting for you right now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Do you need proof? Well, how about this? It's camellia time, and Bob Wine's has them by the hundreds, no, by the thousands, starting with his famous budded and blooming heirloom camellias. They start at just $9.99. And yes, those shade-loving Super Japonica camellias, they're beginning to bloom right now, and they're just $19.99. And yes, it's time to plant trees, and Bob Wines has a super selection. They're all low-priced shade trees. You buy one, you get one at half price. The same is true for citrus trees. Buy one, get one at half price. So start your year right with a wonderful visit to this 5-acre garden. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. They're on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, away from all the traffic, in the same blooming place since 1952.
On Friday, January the 15th at 8:35, my guest will be Robert Cooper and Steve Blank of 0 Hour Life Center, a recovery community organization. We'll learn about the RCO and the many services they provide. There is hope for the hopeless, and there is life after addiction. Recovery is possible. We all know someone who can be helped by the RCO, so tune in at 8:35 Friday, January 15th. This is a vital information for our community brought to you by 0 Hour Life Center and your friends here at WOCA, The Source.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to hour number 3 of Ocala Talk with Tom Schmitz on a Monday, January 11th, 2021. Tonight, University of Alabama takes on the Ohio State University in the national championship game on ESPN at 8 p.m. So for any of those out there that are interested in that game, it is at 8 p.m. ESPN. Alabama, 8.5-point favorite. I think it'll be a much closer game than that. It's just my opinion, just my gut feeling. Hey, remember the story we talked about a couple weeks ago about the guy, Chad Paul Anko, who beat a 53-year-old woman repeatedly in the face and head with a baseball bat. Her name was Jennifer Powell. The severe beating occurred at the Stage Stop Inn on East Silver Spring Boulevard. All the attack was caught on video camera. Anko chased Powell from the motel room outside, armed with a baseball bat. He hit the victim once in the back of the head. Video then shows him hitting the woman in the head and facial area 5 times. She stopped moving. Someone tried to interview, so Anko charged towards that individual with a bat. They backed off. 2 people confronted Anko, who dropped the bat after he had returned to the victim, turned her face up, hit her in the face and head at least 10 more times. Well, Powell was hospitalized. She died November 16th. Well, prosecutors have decided, because they have no proof that the attack was well thought out or planned, they will not seek the death penalty. Such planning is required to prove a killing that is cold, calculated, premeditated, one of the aggravating factors that can justify the imposition of the death penalty. Another aggravating factor is proving that the killing was heinous, atrocious, and cruel. But to prove that, they had to show that Powell was conscious during the entire beating, and it's clear on the video camera that she was not conscious during the entire beating. She stopped moving after the 5th hit with the bat. I would think 5 hits to the face and head area with a bat would be enough to be heinous, atrocious, and cruel. But I'm not the state attorney's office. So the state attorney's office has decided not to seek the death penalty against Chad Paul Anico, who has been charged with murder in the death of Jennifer Powell, who he beat repeatedly with a baseball bat, as it is shown on the video surveillance cameras that the attack was caught on. Denellen, city officials have agreed they need a city administrator. They're not going to be able to let the chief of police stay on as city administrator and chief of police forever. But how do they find it? Do they conduct their own search? Do they use a professional group to select candidates for them to consider? Denellen City Council are expected to discuss all of that and more during a meeting today at 5:30. During a workshop last week, they appeared to agree that they would use George Forbes, a senior advisor for Florida City and County Management Association, to assist them during the search process. They would not pay Forbes a fee for the consultation work. Since Denellen is a member of the Florida League of Cities, they would only have to pay the consultant's travel cost. In the past, the city has faced economic difficulties and turbulence within city government. Recently, those city officials have balanced the budget and maintained a stable government. Forbes says he understands and has a grasp of the city's needs. Forbes says if city officials complete a form that he has for them that would give him a better idea of what they expect for a city administrator, him and his team could start looking for somebody for the job as soon as next week. How long could that process take? They're saying it could take between 4 and 6 months. So Denellen looking for a new city administrator, and they've hired a consultant. They may or may not. They're talking about it tonight at their city council meeting at 5:30 on whether to hire a consultant to help in that process. As you should. This is not something that you should take lightly. While the city of Denellen doesn't have the budget the city of Ocala has, the city of Denellen still has a budget that needs to be well adhered to. And that's what a city administrator does, is make sure city staff and all the inner workings of the city adhere to the budgets and helps the city council do their business better. So the city of Denellen is looking into the possibility of bringing on a consultant to help them with that process. 622-9622 is the number to call. I know a couple callers have called in earlier in the program while we had the chief and the captain here with the fire department. If you want to call in now, 622-9622 is the number to call. After the break, we're going to take a break here in about a minute and a half or so. After the break, a lot of people are concerned with poachers. Yes, that's right. I said poachers. But we're not talking about poachers that come and go on an elephant hunt and shoot elephant and poach their tusk. We're not talking about those kind of poachers. But a lot of people have a concern that these poachers could be just as bad for the state of Florida. We'll talk about exactly who those poachers are after we take a break. We're also going to get into Senate rules that may forbid an impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. Yep, that's right. There may be Senate rules in place that forbid an impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. But we all know the Democrats are aiming to remove him over the goings-on that took place last Wednesday at the Capitol, which, by the way, was a travesty. Storming the Capitol is never acceptable. We'll talk about those stories, plus take your phone calls next. This is 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Numbers come roaring in. he'll just shut his eyes and start trying to line them up. He didn't, but he really has a tough time on that. I know now. I've planted something. Now y'all gonna start noticing.
Edit for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets.